Or shot fire, officer down, shot fire, officer down. Got a city officer down, shot fire.
223, be advised, we have a visual on enemy paratroopers in grid Papa uniforms.
Welcome to the Resilient Warrior Nation, a podcast dedicated to inspiring hope and healing for first responders, military veterans, and anyone facing PTSD and trauma. Hey guys, welcome to another podcast episode of the Resilient Warrior Nation. I'm your host, Mike Morgan, and as I do every episode, I like to explain why I wear the shirt. This is not a proclamation. Unafraid is the name of a company owned by a man named Eddie Penny. Eddie is a former Navy SEAL, Team 6 guy, and in the spring of 2023, I sat down to watch a podcast episode of The Sean Ryan Show in which he was a guest, not knowing that literally the trajectory of my entire life was about to be changed. During the course of the episode, Eddie was recounting the story of the Extortion 17 incident in which a Chinook was shot down in Afghanistan, killing all 38 aboard, including 17 SEALs. It was their largest loss of community in one event ever. Included in the dead was Jason Workman, Eddie's best friend. And as Eddie recounted the story about escorting Jason's body back to his hometown, first in Utah, and then to his final resting place in Arlington National Cemetery, he began crying. He was upset, rightly so. I simultaneously began thinking about a call that I had had 5 years before. I am a 30-year medically retired police officer, and that call consisted of a 2-year-old girl, a beautiful girl named Dana Sikorsky, that was found floating in a pool. As I thought of that call and listened to Eddie, I just started crying uncontrollably, literally no other way to say it. I had been experiencing, and at that point I was retired almost a year from the job, so I had been experiencing some issues of anger, rage, depression, just general unhappiness. Pretty self-aware. I knew obviously I wasn't myself, but I could not figure out the origination of these feelings. And as I was crying, I literally asked myself, what the fuck is happening? Because I had no idea, but I quickly put two and two together and realized that I had suffered some sort of PTSD during the course of my career. I always mistakenly believed that PTSD was only caused by seeing your brother or sister next to you get killed, but mine was caused by being inside the most devastating, intimate moments of other people's lives. I knew I needed help at that point. I was not sure how I was going to go about it, how I was going to heal, but I did not want to be this hateful guy that hated everyone and everything. So I had been hearing these special force operators, mostly them, not really conventional guys at this point, on Sean's and other podcasts speaking about their journeys with psychedelics after coming back from war, self-professed broken men. And I finally felt the calling of ayahuasca. And I sat down in March of 2024. My wife and I went to a facility called Soul Quest Ayahuasca Church in Orlando, Florida. And literally over the course of a weekend, changed my entire life. It happened really over the course of the first 4 hours when I journeyed on Friday night, but for all intents and purposes, we'll see that entire weekend. And let me preface this by saying that 2 former co-workers from my Suffolk County PD job had committed suicide 3 weeks before. The sergeant actually killed himself in the precinct locker room. And although I had no idea that I'd ever be in the space that I am in now, the universe and I were speaking during my journey, and the universe told me it had healed me. I don't want to think I'm this healed individual. I go through things every day like everyone else. But essentially it was stating that it healed me from my PTSD, and it told me that my life's purpose was now to go forth and help other vets and first responders heal their trauma and PTSD issues. I literally said okay out loud, wasn't sure how I was going to implement it, but one thing I decided to do was to start a podcast to do for others what Sean Ryan's did for me, and in that I bring on ordinary people who've done extraordinary things with their lives. We show them at their lowest of lows, and what I want to do is have you men and women who are going through it right now identify with them. My hope is that they inspire you and give you hope that you can heal, because I promise you can. You are no different than us who have. Again, we go through it every day, but for all intents and purposes, again, we've kind of gotten through that portion of our lives. And all my guests want to do is help others just like myself. So I hope you guys get a lot out of this episode. I'm very excited to introduce my next guest. And as I say, every episode before we record, he's going to change one person's life, and I guarantee that is the case. So let me go ahead and introduce Xander Gleaton. Xander was born in San Francisco, California. He spent a decade in U.S. Air Force Special Operations as a pararescueman, PJ. serving at duty stations in England, Italy, and Japan. His operational experience include 2 deployments to Afghanistan and additional deployments to Djibouti, Africa, and Yemen. Following his military career, he spent 2.5 years as an executive protection agent and medic for an ultra-high net worth individual. He is now the founder and CEO of SDSC, Saints by Day, Sinners by Construct, a mental health-focused apparel company dedicated to supporting individuals through hardship, promoting suicide prevention, and helping others overcome addiction and adversity. Xander, I am super pumped to have you on the show. Welcome to the Resilient Warrior Nation, brother.
Great to be on here, brother. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Just so you guys know, I was introduced to Xander by Steve Morris. Steve runs the Peaceful Power podcast. I was just on the other night. We hit it off great, and Steve was just extolling the virtues of Xander. Said we had to meet, and we did. We were on the phone yesterday for quite a while, hit it off. I had just seen him on the Liberty Risk podcast. He did a great job on that. And there's a little drinking going on during that podcast. So that's why Xander's life right now. Yeah, and maybe a lot of drinking. So you guys should check that out on YouTube as well. But again, I'm super pumped to have him on the show. So as we do, I like to start off kind of chronologically. And if you could just talk about your childhood, how you grew up, your family dynamics, just let people get to know you.
Yeah. What's up, guys? I'm Xander. I was born in San Francisco, California. My childhood kind of consisted of, kind of being born straight up into like seeing addiction and stuff. Like I didn't know it at the time, but my mom was heavy into addiction. Didn't really know her at all. Met her a few times. I tell the story quite a bit, but it helps people. The first time I met my mother I remember meeting her, was in a park in San Francisco, and she had shaved her head entirely, bicked it like with a razor, and was tweaking on whatever she was on, crack or meth, and just scratching at herself. And I was about 4 years old at the time. And, she was just not making sense. She's very incoherent, and it's just scarred into my head. It's nothing that like a 4-year-old should remember, but I do clear as day. Think about it a lot. And, she was saying that a homeless guy across the street was trying to kill her. Right. And just kind of scratching at her body. And that's the first memory I have of my mother. And, so didn't see her for a long time after that. But I lived with my dad and I had multiple different mother figures in my life. But kind of ran around and moved around a lot. So just no like stagnant place. I was moving from SF to Stockton, California, to another place and then I ended up where I live now in Visalia, California, in the Central Valley in CA. And so going from there, kind of had little direction, and like a lot of kids do, started using drugs, smoking weed, just chugging Robitussin in class and at school, and just kind of progressed to just a vicious cycle of self-destruction, self-sabotage. And I was doing every drug you can think of at a young age, man. Like
how young,
coke. So I started using probably harder drugs when I was 13, like cocaine and meth and just press pills. Back when you weren't worried about fentanyl getting in it. But I was just something like you look back and you're like, why is a kid doing that? But it shaped me, right? And it really did. But I was using a lot of drugs. I was getting arrested quite frequently, just partying all the time. I didn't go to school at all. I had the record for lowest GPA in class and most numbers of non-attendance in school. Wow. I ended up getting expelled from school for fighting my PE teacher at the time because I was selling Oxy at school to like other kids. And it was just...
what, he wanted, or was something else?
What's that?
He wanted some, or it was a separate issue that you were fighting?
That would have been
price is too high.
No, no.
And how is Dad at this as this is going on? Is he aware? Is he kind of getting?
He was
involved?
aware. Yeah, he'd get all these calls and stuff, but he's working, man. Like he was working. I didn't see him that much because he had his own life too, right? And I don't put that on him, but like he worked, and then he was going through many divorces and stuff. And all this shit, man. But yeah, so I don't put him on. He got a lot of calls, man. He had to deal with a lot of shit, and maybe that's the reason that he wasn't, present all the time. He was out a lot, and like a lot of times I was home alone, right? And I had my own like direction to go, like do whatever I fucking wanted, really. And so that's right. Yeah, I was partying a lot, man. Got expelled, arrested, went to like bad kid school, and then an independent study school where I had to study on my own to graduate high school.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of like what led me up to before I went to the military. But yeah, it was just a vicious cycle of drug addiction at a young age, man. So
yeah, it's incredible.
Like hard drugs, bro.
Old.
But yeah.
Are you doing any kind of time? Are you sentenced to juvenile correctional institutes at all?
I've been to juvie, never got. I was just there. I just handcuffed a lot, arrested in the back of cop cars. Most of the time they take me home because I was underage. But I've been to a juvenile institution and. Yeah, just got out, but it was, it was just the whole cycle of it, man. Just like looking back at it, it's like it's. I'm glad that I went through that stuff at a young age because I see a lot of people come out of not doing anything and like the goody two shoe in school, and then they they don't like it hits them later where they start doing drugs, and I think that's where a lot of people get fucked up in life. Like I got all that shit out of my system at a young age, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful because at that level, I'm thankful because like I made the choice to go into the military, right? And like do something that, eventually like probably saved my life in a way, right? And like was a higher calling. And I'm glad because I had to mature very quickly, right? But I didn't have these like desires to go out and just fucking crush drugs all the time, like that a lot of people get after that. Like I had that at a young age. And, but yeah, I'm thankful for my life. I don't look at it in a negative way, and I'd look at it as like it's a lesson that I need to be taught. Right. It's
a great way of looking back at your life. Everything happened for a reason, and there was lessons to be learned instead of making yourself a victim, I guess, which is the worst thing you do, undoubtedly.
Victim mentality. Yeah, you don't want that, man.
Exactly. So how do you make the transition now from doing what you were doing in high school? Now you graduate high school. What happens to kind of get you towards that military mindset? Today's episode is brought to you by Cutting Edge Testosterone Therapy, a veteran-owned, family-run clinic led by a retired first responder. At Cutting Edge, they help men and women rebuild strength, focus, and vitality through advanced hormone therapy, peptides, and performance-based weight management. Whether you've served your country, your community, or your family, Cutting Edge helps you get your edge back safely, professionally, and with people who understand what service takes out of you. Cutting Edge offers individualized care with no monthly fees or contracts. Learn more at cuttingedgetestosteronetherapy.com. Cutting Edge Testosterone Therapy, built by those who serve for those who still do.
Even after high school, I was still doing drugs and stuff. I was still like trying to work out, motivated to do something. I just didn't know what it was at the time, but there was a lot of events that led up to me wanting to get out of this place, right? And like the drugs and everything, and it's just like looking around one day and like seeing everyone do the same shit, right? Every day, not changing anything, not like no drive to do anything. I'm like, am I going to do this forever? I'm like, because inside, like I felt like I am capable of doing something fucking hard, right? And I wanted to do that, and that's what kind of drove me to go to the military. And I was living with my friend at the time. I left home when I was like 16, living different houses, friends, and I was living with my best friend and his mom, who's my mother figure now. And she's an amazing woman, and she's been through a lot for me, and she didn't have to take on that burden of me, but she's there every day, and she continuously shows up still. Nice. And I love her to death, and I consider her my mother. Yeah, but yeah, so her son is my best friend. And he went to the Marines, and I was just kind of alone when he left, and I was still doing fucking meth and shit, and like just every now and again I was still like working out. I was like a functioning drug addict in a sense.
Okay.
And
how you funding
you want
these
to call
drugs?
It that.
Yeah. How are you funding this habit?
Many different ways. Like I worked, I had jobs and shit, but like there was times where I was a bad fucking kid, bro. I'd steal shit and I'd sell it. Right, I used to steal fucking shit from house parties I'd be at. I used to fucking go to the gym and steal shit out of locker rooms and like sell it on fucking eBay or whatever the fuck it was. And just going down a fucking weird path like that to make money, to make a dime, to like buy fucking drugs. Like it's just a weird cycle, man. Like you're stealing shit, you're fucking breaking into places, you're getting shit, and then you're fucking selling. You're a criminal, right?
Yeah.
Or
you're
going to
fiending for the
stores,
drugs. You're gonna do anything you
for the
can.
drugs,
That's
doing
DT.
whatever you can to party to get another high at your
Yep.
young age, and then you have a lot of shit go wrong, man. And I think just one day, like after he left, I kind of got like a moment of clarity. I'm like, all right, like this guy's doing something with his life, right? And like I'm still here. I'm like, I'm not gonna be the guy that's gonna wake up one day and be like, fuck, man. Like, no, I'm gonna go do something. And like that's what drove me to go to the recruiter's office, and eventually.
Hey, can I ask you, was he into drugs as well, or no?
Not really, man. Not like I was.
Really?
Dude.
So how'd you guys maintain that relationship? Because that's odd that one does and one doesn't.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't like forever. Like I fell off for a while. Like we were best friends since like 4th grade, and
Okay.
So like between like that, great friends. It's the first dude I met here in Visalia, and so when I went to like high school, it kind of fell off a little bit. I started hanging out with like other people. And so we're always best friends at heart, but like we kind of separated a little bit, got divided here and there. But we eventually made our way back. I made my way back to him.
Okay.
But after a lot of shit happened, like we had one of our friends commit suicide at a very young age, like in high school. Someone who you never thought would. And I think that's like the first experience I've ever had with suicide at a young age. And it was just like a shock, right? Like it was just something you would never expect. Like I was on the diving team at the time in high school. Like I went out just to fuck around, dude. I ended up liking it, but it was something to do to keep me away from partying and stuff. I ended up getting expelled, obviously, so I didn't stick with it. But yeah, I remember finding out the news that our friend fucking Thomas shot himself in a bathroom in his house. He was like 15, just blew his head off. It was just random. I just remember sitting on a diving board, just blank, just like, yeah. And yeah, it was just a really weird experience, but.
And
yeah.
were you having any suicidal ideology yourself during your teen years at all? Okay.
Not really, man. I wouldn't say I did. Like everyone thinks about it, but I was like, not really at all, man. I was too busy getting high and shit, and like partying. Like I had other plans, But
Yep.
I didn't have time to sit there and think like that, But that came later in life, man. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it was tough time, but it was a good time, and it all shapes you to, do something better. I think if you can learn like that. But
all right, hey, it's a hard lesson, hard way to learn it, but some people learn differently. So that was your path.
Exactly.
So now you decide you want to enter the military. Literally, how do you go about it?
So I went to the office, the recruiter's office, and I went to join the SEAL teams, right, to be a SEAL, and they didn't take me because I broke my hand in a fight, and I told them about it, and they're like, it's going to take a long time for you to get a waiver, wouldn't recommend doing this, that, and the other, maybe there's another job. I'm like, no, I just want a special operations job. And I knew a little bit about PJs, but they're next door outside, and I was like, I saw the flyer on the door, the poster, and I just took the ASVAB. I didn't tell them about my hand or anything, but
important lesson, you guys watching who may apply: don't ever voluntarily tell the government anything.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
So, all right, you take that ASVAB, and then
took the
I'm assuming you
ASVAB,
scored
and
well.
I started fucking setting my mind to train for the fucking, I forget what they call it, but the test you have to do to even get your foot in the door. It's like some running, swimming, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, whatever. And but at the time, that was hard. I had to learn how to like swim good, so I was always in the pool. I had to learn how to do underwater, so I was always in my gym pool, just fucking training for that. And it kept it fucking took my mind off a lot of shit, right? Like just instead of like partying, I'm doing this shit now. Like I'm fucking motivated. It was a good feeling, dude.
Yep.
And so yeah, passed my test, and I shipped out.
Now, can I ask you? Did you know what a PJ was prior to entering the recruiter's office?
Not so kind of, not really. I did a little bit of research, but like it just I read like the bullet points, right? Like of people go online, they're like, oh fuck yeah, this is what I want to do. Or at the time I was watching a documentary called Inside Combat Rescue, and it was crazy. Later, like the commander on that show ended up being my commander in my first duty station. Yeah. Was
that like the A-Pod series?
The what? The A-Pod?
It was like an A-Pod series on maybe Discovery Channel or something. I just saw it recently on like Netflix when it was old.
Yeah, Discovery or Netflix or something like that. Yeah, but
it was the one with the first guy, like when they start running for the first time. It's like, I'm going to set a record. And by the end of the run, he tapped out, and then he ended up getting kicked out. I'm assuming it's like the same docu. if you remember.
It's something like that. Yeah, there's a
Okay.
few documentaries out there. This one was just like about the job. There's like Surviving the Cut, like pararescue stuff on Netflix and all this stuff. And I was watching all that.
That's what it
stuff.
was, Surviving the Cut.
Yeah, Surviving the Cut, which is weird because I have friends that I met through that after watching it. There's
Really?
I got set back and like I was with them. Yeah, it's
That's
wild,
pretty
man.
funny. Now, can you just explain to the audience who a lot of people don't know, they're not familiar about PJs. Can you tell everyone what you guys actually do, what your job function is?
Yeah, so at the root of it, PJs are like a combat rescue task force trained to like locate, recover, and rescue and treat medically personnel in like some of the most extreme, hostile environments. Wherever you could, like, someone could get hurt, we go in, right? When no one else can. But we're trained in like battlefield medicine, like we're all paramedics, like we go through all that training, and even to like a higher advanced level in a way, like stuff you wouldn't be able to do normally you do in the field, like little trauma surgeries and stuff. Like you have a different protocol, but we deploy like globally to support operational teams, like other special forces groups or special operations, and we can attach to those teams. We're kind of like, the easiest way to put it is you're kind of like a fireman, you're kind of like a medic or a PA, and like mixed in with SWAT, mixed in with everything else that like special operations do, like skydiving or diving, scuba diving, all that stuff, and advanced insertion techniques, all this stuff. But yeah, at the root of it, you're combat search and rescue, and you're trained in advanced trauma and emergency medicine, and you do parachuting, high altitude, halo jumping. You're trained in all that stuff. Scuba diving, technical rescue is huge. That's where the whole firefighter thing comes in. Like you're able to get people like out of vehicles that are like crushed, right? We carry jaws of life. We do all this stuff. It's like extrication. You're trained in that. You're trained in like SEER, survival, evasion, resistance, escape, and then you're trained like with small unit tactics and shooting and stuff. I know Air Force, you don't think that, but yeah, we're a ground element too. Like we jump and we fly, but like we're on the ground. We're boots on the ground. We're with these teams attached to them. And we bring this rescue and medical capability with them, right? And also like mountaineering and rope rescue. Like we have like the whole package in a way. Like the whole PJ is like jack of all trades, master of none, because we literally kind of carry everything with us. And like I think PJs bring a lot of value to teams, and there's something I've always heard from like dudes that like I run into. They're like, I've never met a PJ I don't like. Yeah. And I think that's true. I'm like, I've met some PJs I don't really like, but like, it's cool to hear that from people because it's a lesser known special operations force. But yeah, man, it's a great job, man, and it's a tough job to get into because you have to go through similar selection as every other selection special forces has to go through, special operations. But it's a great pipeline, and a lot of it translates to outside world too. Like that's the big thing. Is like a lot of other people like assaulters and stuff. Like a lot of it doesn't translate, right? But if you're a PJ, you got the medical stuff, and you got connections inside. Like you can do a lot of stuff when you get out, man, and it all translates. So yeah, essentially that's what we do. But when I was entering the job, I don't really know exactly what it was, and I was young, but when I got there, I really was like, oh, fuck, what did I do? Because, like, my fucking dick push thing, it's like, holy fuck, dude. Like, and just the selection in general was very challenging for me, but made it through, man. So, and then the whole pipeline was amazing, and, met some of the best people I'll ever know the rest of my life.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, what you guys do is unbelievable. Your motto is, so others may live, right?
Yes, that others may live.
That others may live. That's an incredible
motto. It's like it's awesome, man. And one of the so before I was going in, I saw this dude. It's like a famous picture of some Army private. He got all shot up with his buddy or whatever, and he's in the helo, getting treated. And he has "For those I love, I'll sacrifice" tattooed on him. And that's kind of what like drove me through the whole time. I got it tattooed right here.
Nice.
But yeah,
that's awesome,
man. Yeah, man.
And you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but the typical paramedic program that we see in civilian world is typically 18 months, if I'm not mistaken, and you guys banging out in like 6. Is that correct?
Ours like 6 months, yeah. 6 months of paramedic, and then we do 3 or 4 months of clinicals and like I did Philadelphia, so so you're splitting that between the fire department and the hospitals. So you go through every unit in the hospital, like ER, like OBGYN, like ICU. So you're doing every little thing, right? You're in the OR intubating. Like in Philly, I got like 100 intubations.
Wow.
Between the fire department and OR. So you're there with a anesthesiologist, and it's way more scary to do that in an OR because those dudes grill you, because it's easy to fuck up an intubation and to hurt somebody too, because you can break their teeth, you can just do it wrong, miss, and and it's just like when you got that pressure, bro, it's like fucking. It's weird, dude. Like even in ER in some places, like they'll we go there to plus up our skills, like because it's a perishing skill, right? So you got to constantly go to hospitals and work on your skills and stuff. And some of the doctors, when I went to UAB in Alabama, they're the Special Operations Surgical Team, the SOS-T. They run the hospital essentially, or run the ER. So like there's resident doctors there that are trying to get in, like whenever somebody comes in all shot up, but they'll push them out of the way and pull a PJ to be like, you're doing this intubation, and suddenly you're doing an intubation in front of like 30 people, like they're all watching. You're like, oh fuck, dude. But it's cool as fuck because you train for it and you just fucking nail it, and it's like it's a great feeling, man. Because like a lot of those people are like, who the fuck is this guy? And you're just like the random dude there in scrubs. You're like, hello. And they're like, oh, what? Cool. Yeah, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. So
yeah, if you could do it there under pressure, you could certainly bang it out in the in the
man.
field.
And that's what I was saying. It's like it's way easier to do it in the field. Like when the Philly fire, like all that stuff, it's easy to bang out a fucking, because you're pressured. Like everyone there is just go, do your shit. It's like hard to think about, oh, what if I miss? No, it's like you just fucking do it. Get in there. Yeah. So
that's it.
It's great training. It's a great medical program, man. So.
But it's fantastic. I love seeing shows about you guys and what you guys do. My buddy, I'd ask you about if you knew him. Him and his partner were the two guys that recovered Matt Axelson's body during the Marcus Luttrell incident. He doesn't delve too much into his stories, but I've heard. I mean, just it's incredible what you guys do. So thank you for your service and what you've done. I can't even imagine how many lives you've touched and saved. So,
no, fucking dude, like we were talking about earlier, same but different. Like with the cops, the fucking firefighters, everything. Like it's just a different environment, bro. Like everyone has a tough fucking job. I couldn't be a cop, bro. That shit is fucking crazy to me, and I support the fuck out of cops. But like, yeah, it's just a different job, same fucking purpose. It's just different environment, man. But
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Thank you, brother.
Now let me ask you: during your training, is there anything that stands out as being the favorite thing you did, like halo jumping, anything like that?
I like jumping, bro. It's really fun, dude.
That looks so cool.
I have a good time with it, bro. How
many think you've done?
Probably about 400-ish jumps, roughly. But it's like it's different. It's different doing like military jumps compared to, because I didn't do a civilian skydive until I was on the back half of my career. Like I was like, I'm gonna go try it civilian, because in the military you're always jumping with fucking 100-pound rucksack, fucking all this shit, gear, like total weight and stuff, and nods and O2 and like all this shit. So it's like, and you go through all these briefings for like hours, like, and rehearsals, and it's just like it's like you need to, right? Because it's like it's an easy thing to fuck up, and like you can kill somebody doing it, like whether it's yourself or your teammate, and you got to be able to trust each other. But when I did fucking civilian, it was like, this is fun as fuck. You're just slick. You're like, woo, just fucking, it's cool. But
you feel like nothing, I guess.
Yeah,
it's got to be the coolest feeling in the world when you're doing a halo jump at night with the nods on. Once you guys jump.
Oh yeah, dude, it's awesome, man. But I've done I think the worst night halo jump I've done was in Georgia, and the weather was like borderline not jumpable, and we're in this little Cessna plane at night, and everyone's on nods and talking to each other, and then all of a sudden the pilot comes back and said something about the engine, dude, and we're like, what? Like, what the fuck? Who the fuck? The pilot's walking? Yeah, and the plane's all like, we're just fucking jump out. The winds were so high and it was pitch black. We have nods and everything, and you wear chem lights on the front. Like you wear a red on the front and a green on the back, so like if you're green, you're good. You're following somebody. If you're red, you're going towards somebody.
Gotcha.
And you should fucking turn away. But so the winds were so high that like it was kind of we got separated so deeply at night, and I ended up over a freeway over in Macon, Georgia, and somebody landed in on the roof of a house, and like somebody hit a fucking something in a field. Yeah, like a huge. Yeah, it was crazy. So
you imagine that when you watch TV with the wife, you boom.
Yeah,
what the fuck is that? You look up there, there's a PJ in your room.
Some dude had like some family, like he was in the back of their truck just driving back with his shoe, and he got put out. It's like, oh, shit.
That's awesome, man. I love stories like that.
Oh shit! All right, I'm back.
All right.
My bad.
That is great, man.
Yeah,
see how smoothly he did that? That's a well-trained individual right there.
Yeah, man.
So
I enjoyed everything about it. I enjoyed everything about being a PJ. I liked free fall, but I think the most thing I enjoyed was like I met some of the people that will be my brothers for the rest of my life, and like, yeah, it's fun, it's everything, but like I could never. That's why I'm so thankful for it, because there's friends that could never die from it, and like in my heart, like I have a hard time with family because I grew up a weird way, but like that family was earned to me, and like I'll never lose that brotherhood, and yeah, some of the best friends I've ever made, and I consider that family. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man. Blood doesn't make you family.
Yep.
Loyalty does.
Loyalty.
I've had, unfortunately, not too pretty of a story on my side either. So I know how you feel. And dynamics are very different, but it's tough, man. But
Yeah.
so all right, you get training goes relatively well. Did you have any setbacks or anything for performance or health?
Yeah, so I mean, in selection, so that was back when it was INDOC. It changed again to like ANS, and now it's something else, like a Zulu course. I don't know what it is, but when I went through, it's still INDOC. That's like the OG selection course. It was 9 weeks long, and I got pulled out of the pool on our like kind of like Buds has their Hell Week. We have like kind of a similar thing. It's like a extended training day, and I got pulled out of the pool. Like blacked out mask, all this shit. You're wearing fucking weights on you, trying to swim underwater over like everybody else that's on your and your team. And so I got like the instructors will come down and they call it sharking, and they'll pull you back like when you're trying to go forward, and like when you're fucking hypoxic, out of breath. Like I swallowed some water and I was like, fuck, I'm like drowning. So I just started coming up for air, and I was like choking, and so they pulled me out, right? And I was very like kind of blue lippy, like kind of everyone's fucking pale. It sucks, bro. It's like it's terrible. But so I was getting like kind of worked on, checked out by the medics, and then I hesitated to get back in the pool, and they're like, get the fuck back in the pool. And so they I said I was like hesitant, and they're like, you hesitated, you're out.
Really?
You're done. Yeah. I was like, fuck, bro. Like all that for nothing. And I was just blank, bro. I was like, what the fuck? And so yeah, I had to go back and beg for another shot. So they recycled me back to day one of the next course, and so I had to go through all of it again. But it was good, and it was something I needed to. So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that was like my only setback really, and then everything else I passed. Yeah, first time, first go. So. Luckily.
And how long was your training pipeline?
So if you don't fuck anything up in your pipeline, you can get through it in like two-ish years, 2.5. But there's some people that get hurt, set back, and like if you're a good dude, they're gonna give you chances, right? But so there's a dude that was there for like 4 years, and he had to re-enlist while he was still in training to be a PJ. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it was
He wanted it though.
He wanted it, right? And it's how hard you put out. If you take care of yourself, you don't have injuries. Some of it's just some of it's luck, bro. So
yeah, absolutely. I just interviewed a guy named Johnny Collins to be coming out in a few weeks. Former SEAL. He went through 6 Buds classes, 2.5 Hell Weeks, and I finally made it through. He had a bunch of. He actually, when he got rolled for medical, and then he got rolled for performance. He failed pool comp as well, and so they kicked him out of training. And he said, "What's the fastest way back?" So they told him to become a guard in Guantanamo Bay. So that is what he did. They said it was a year billet. Ended up being 19 months, having to watch these savages. I mean, he just tells stories about these guys. Horrible. And some of the worst treatment he got was from Navy personnel. Apparently SEALs are not well liked in the conventional Navy. And these guys put up roadblock after roadblock to, I think it was like 15 guys that were kind of going through the same, pipeline to get back. And it's unbelievable to me. It's absolutely disgusting. Like these guys are trying to be the best of the best, and you guys, instead of supporting them and helping them, are trying to, keep them down. It's,
Yeah.
People punch up, man. They never punch down. But
yeah, dude.
unfortunately,
We've had a lot of like some PJs go through, like they get out and they want to go try. Some of them try like a different special operations group, like some go be SEALs, some try to go be CAG or whatever it is. But what I was gonna tell you is that when I was going through my paramedic shit, we had a commander at the schoolhouse who came out, like our schoolhouse in Medina. He was a commander there. I forget his name. I wish I could remember it, but. He came out to visit us like during our paramedic rotation. It was like, just checking in, seeing how everything's doing. A little bit of time went by, and there's some Green Beret who's transitioning over to go be a PJ, and he went through selection. They failed him. And so this dude went AWOL. Like, I might butcher this story. He went AWOL, from what I hear, because this was after I left. He went AWOL, came back with a gun and shot the commander. He shot the, there was a first sergeant commander. He was like saying something. He was like fucking just pissed off, like just off the rails. So he shot the commander. And apparently, I think the commander dove in front of the first sergeant or something, took the bullets, and the first sergeant got hit too, but he died. Yeah, and the Green Beret, or the dude that was going through our selection killed himself. So that was like a we're just like, sitting there like, holy fuck, man, like hearing all this stuff. Like after we just talked to this dude not that long ago, we're like, fuck, man. Wow. So, but yeah, it's intense. Yeah, that's fucking.
I've heard stories of like SEALs either voluntarily getting tossed out of training and just driving to San Diego and jumping off a building and killing themselves.
Yeah, man. Yeah, people like it'll drive you to the dirt, man, if you let it. Like, so I like talking to Steve Morris on the Peace, Power, and Purpose podcast, because he was a SEAL too, and like he was saying that like that was kind of his thing too. Like that's what caused him like to go into like drinking and all this stuff. But he's very vulnerable about it. But he owns it, right? And accountability is huge, man. Like, and if you let something drive you to the fucking ground, it will, man. But it's like, what is it doing for you? It's doing nothing, man. And it's just not serving you. And you're just fucking up people around you because you're holding on to something. You got to let it go, right? But like, and that dude's badass, man. I love that guy. So
yeah absolutely.
Shout out Steve.
Yeah, Steve is the man. There are no victims, only volunteers, number one, and everything's a choice, man. We are the ones writing our own story. We're not sitting here watching it happen. We are the ones that dictate what happens. So if you want to change it, fucking change it. You change it tomorrow. 100%. Just turn that page. Yep. So, all right. So, what we know, you got done, and the pipeline's finished. You get
yeah. So I went. My first duty station was England. I spent 3 years there, and then I've transitioned over to Italy, where I was same unit. We just moved to Italy, so I was there for 3 years. Fucking awesome place, man. Blessed to ride the whole overseas train. So I did 6 years at RQS, and I went to Japan.
Which RQS?
57th RQS. It was in Italy or England and Italy. So. 57 RQS, and then I went to the 320th STS, which is in Japan, in Okinawa. Kadena spent my last bit of time there, but this whole time, like, I already, like, I was fucking kind of broken, dude. Like, my body, brain, in a way, like, I just saw the writing on the wall. Like, I fucked my back up very badly, I'll say, in Africa, with a SEAL team, just jumping out, and I landed on a boat, and like I never said anything that how bad it was fucking me up, but like I was just laid up in bed and like the whole time, and like after that, we were talking this on the phone call, but it was I was doing like fucking tests and HGH and shit out there, and like it kind of helped me and like get through it, but that was just masking the pain, like because over time I was just not treating my body right. As soon as I'd feel better and I had this stuff in me, I'd be like, yeah, go, not, and just over time, like your body will get broken down in this career.
Oh yeah.
If you don't take
you broke your back and didn't tell anyone.
It didn't really tell him. Yeah, I got I didn't even go to the hospital. I got a PA to give me like a fucking X-ray on my back and like on a mobile one. He's like, you got some fucking damage right here on your L4, L5, all this shit. But yeah, man, I did it to myself, right? I pushed a boat out. I was complacent. I jumped out after it, and I fucking hit my fucking back on the engine that we tied down on the floorboard. But coming back, I was getting worked on by a great PT, Anthony Babello. He's an awesome dude. He has his own company now, but he really took care of me, getting down to the root of the problem and stuff. But the problem was I wasn't taking care of myself really. Like I just let it go, and it caught up to me to a point where I just couldn't do the job anymore, man. And I was kind of fucked up about it, and I was just like not in the right headspace to like, you know, you don't want to seem like the weak dude on a team, right?
Sure.
And like my ego at the time, like I was just like, fucking, you can do anything, man. Like fucking go. And like when it all catches up to you, it's just like, fuck, dude. And like you keep it quiet, and then you just like, people are looking at you like, why can't you fucking keep up? I'm like, I can't feel my fucking legs right over. Like,
so no one's got a clue as to what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I you know, I was there here and there, like saying things, trying to keep it private between doctors and stuff. But yeah, it was just, there was a point where I couldn't keep it quiet anymore, and because I became kind of like a liability, dude, and I had to take accountability of that, because like I'm not gonna sit here and just fucking feed my ego, and like when I'm doing shit and I'm having people trusting me, that is very dangerous inherently and can kill them. So
right.
I saw the writing on the wall. I got out, and you know. And then, yeah, I fucking became an executive protection agent for, you know, one of the most famous people in the world. But
let me ask you one, sorry to interrupt before we get into that.
Yeah.
You get out, and mentally, how are you doing when you leave the job?
So
like immediately.
Mentally, it was weird, man, because that's the only job I've ever knew, and that was like what I was. That was like my identity. Yep. So I was lost, man, to be honest. And coming from that kind of environment with people, like-minded people like that, and trying to integrate back into like a normal society is weird, man, to me at least, because you know, I had a lot of shit going on at the time too, you know, that compounded on it, like friends committing suicide and stuff, and like, you know, losing friends in the military from training accidents, and then you got your friends back home committing suicide, and then coming back to that, and you're just like lost, bro. So like, what does anybody do? They pick up drugs again. They pick up the bottle. They fucking just go try to numb their pain. And it was hard for me to make friends. And like, I don't know, man. It was just, I was lost, man. But,
yeah,
you know, luckily
it's a common sentiment, bro. I mean, I felt the same way when I retired. And I don't know too many guys who don't. Even if guys have a plan to go into that next career, you're no longer that thing you are, which you loved with all your heart. You're never going to find another brotherhood like you had in that field, in that service. I don't care what you're doing. If you're doing executive protection, it's just never going to be the same unless you work with the guys you were working with. It's, who am I? What am I? What am I going to do? I mean, we have to answer these questions, and they're tough ones to answer, man. Yeah,
it's very tough, man. Like I had a very tough time. I kept it in a lot of the times, but it was very, very challenging, because I always like to portray like a lot of confidence, right? Because, you know, confidence and calmness breeds trust, and like I just kept it all closed in for a long time, and like, but in my head it was very damaging, and I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do, man? Like I miss that shit. Like you miss it every day. But so I try to do anything I can to, you know, not think about that shit. But luckily I found the whole EP world, which is great, good team and all, and I realized I was still searching for purpose and fulfillment, and you know, so I left that after a few years and started this company, man. But during that whole time though, like I was, you know, I was kind of running from myself in a way, like my own thoughts, my own head. Like I, you know, a few friends, like, you know, take their lives, like very close friends that I'll never see ever again, and they're, you know, they're right here. I always keep them on me in their ashes, but so all that was happening, and I was just kind of fucking running for myself, man. I was being selfish, like, and one of the dudes one of my friends that killed himself, I was always talking to him, man. I was always with him, just like fucking, you know, being there for him, right? And I'm always worrying about this guy, right? Until he shot himself, right? And then I kind of went to that place, right, where I'm running away, I'm being selfish, and I'm not thinking about anybody else, because people are worrying about me, but I'm not thinking about it like that. But now all of a sudden I'm my friend, right? And other people are trying to reach out and do this, but I'm now becoming that person again. So I was like, you know, I was just being selfish.
How are you thinking about it? You said you're not, you know, they're thinking one way. What are you actually thinking? What are your thoughts?
Running to fucking drugs, bro. I was trying to get out of my own head. Like I just got addicted to cocaine severely, doing it all the time, doing it alone, doing fucking 10 grams in a weekend by myself. I was doing all this shit, man. Like I was running away to get out of my own head. I didn't want to fall asleep. I didn't want to have nightmares anymore. I was doing coke so much I started seeing fucking demons and shit, dude. Like, and just in my house, and just fucking, Yeah, it was crazy, man. Just fucking thinking people are living in my walls and like all this shit, dude. I'm like, it was just like, when you look at it from the outside in, dude, like it looked like a fucking tweaker, and I was, bro. But like, fucking doing all this shit, and I resorted to like, you know, when it fucking coke stopped working for me, I started smoking meth, and then started trying crack, and like just to chase another high, and like, you know, none of that shit helped me, man. And it's very sinister after a while, like, and yeah, it's just. Yeah, it's wild, man. And the thing that kind of saved me was, you know, psychedelics, dude. Like, in a big way, like, started mushrooms, acid, and then finally found DMT, man. And, like, I've never learned anything from cocaine or meth or crack, any of that shit, man. It just, all it did was put me in a bad place and fuck up my life a little bit. But, like, you know, from mushrooms and, you know, psychedelics, and I credit DMT to saving my life. In a way, man.
Yeah, so let's get into that DMT experience.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, DMT is the active ingredient in ayahuasca. So although we used it a little bit differently here, it's the same, you know, psychoactive component in both of our journeys. And Xander's going to tell you about his powerful one.
Yeah, so I was out with friends in a different state. I won't say what I was doing, but I was going through some weird shit in my head, and you know, some weird stuff was happening in my life, and I was just in a bad headspace. And you know, I've never really been one to kill myself or anything, but I fucking I just decided to fucking sit in the sauna. We had an Airbnb, right? So I fucking sat in there with the highest heat I can for a long time, and ended up, my buddy fucking found me on the floor with my sunglasses melted to my face a little bit, pulled me out of it.
Shit.
Yeah, so I was like fucking borderline dead, couldn't breathe. I was fucking just, my body was too hot like to touch, and it was just a weird moment. But he said he heard banging on the wall. That's the only reason he found me. And so when I flew back home, I found out my mom died on the same night, right? She died on the same night. No, so you know, the relationship I had with her, I didn't really know. And this whole time, I never cared. Like, I was resenting her all the time. Like, I was making bad, fucking terrible jokes about my mom, dude. Like, because it was just a way for me to cope with it, right? And fucked up jokes. But, like, so it was like a weird feeling. Like, I got the news, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I got the phone. I looked at my girl. I'm like, yeah, my mom died. And that was it. Just started watching the movie again. That we were watching. And but so yeah, it was weird because she died on the same night around the same time, which was Halloween 2 years ago, or a few years ago. And yeah, so it was just a weird coincidence that like he found me and he heard banging on the wall, and then I got the coroner's report, and she died at the same fucking moment. It was just odd, man. It was like some kind of divine intervention kind of deal. And so that kind of fucked me up because I've always resented this girl in my head, right? Because all I knew was like, you're drug addict. You always resented me. I played the Ouija board with her one of the other times I met her, and like, you know, I smoked crack, or I didn't smoke crack with her. I smoked weed with her out of a crack pipe in a hotel room, and she told me that she tried to kill me one time, and like when she found out she was pregnant with me, she tried to take my life because she was scared about having her second child and all this stuff. And like, that's what I remember about her. Damn. Right? So that's why
that's a tender mother-son moment.
Yeah, but that's what I always resented about her. And but all this shit compiled in my head, and I was just lost, man. And I just decided to fucking go home and kill myself one night. I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna do it. Writing's on the wall. I know how to do it. I'm just gonna fucking blow my head off real quick. But I decided to smoke DMT because my friend of mine had it, and so I went there, and my mom had left a song that she wrote, which was talking about our mutual abandonment issue, like how we kind of left each other, and like it, like, you know, I still listen to it sometimes, man. It's really deep, but it's fucking very well written. But she talks about how she started doing drugs every day, you know, getting high every day, and like asking like when I'm gonna come be home with her, and like stuff like that, man. And yeah, and that's the only thing I have of her. And so I let that song play by my head while I smoked DMT, and yeah, I felt a fucking sudden deep feeling of like just melting right out of this world. I started seeing like code, like the Matrix, like in the room. And then like I took the third hit, and I just melted through the couch I was on, and like the song was playing, and I ended up in this tunnel of light. And yeah, I held on to this girl. All of a sudden it was my mom, and like we were crying, and we forgave each other, and she told me to let go, and then we like flew out of this world, right? And it was fucking nuts into like a different dimension. And but I came out of that bawling my eyes out, and I fucking suddenly I didn't want to kill myself anymore. And I just like, I was like, I'm not. This is so dumb, dude. Like I gave my coke back, like that, you know, because yeah.
What was so dumb? That you were doing drugs?
No, so yeah, well that's dumb, but it was dumb that like I wanted to kill myself. It's like why kill myself? It was just a moment of clarity for me, and like I don't know how to explain it, but it was just like it clicked with me. It was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna help other people. You know, why take this and resent myself and fuck everyone's life out around me, including myself, where I'm either gonna be dead or in prison within a year. And so to me, it was like that gave me my purpose. Like it's a tool, right? And it's how you choose to use it, but it gave me my purpose. And it's the first time in my life that I actually like started, all right, there could be a God, right? There could be a God. And it got me closer to that relationship with him, because I was very spiritually sick, mentally sick, and I didn't have any relationship with God. And I was just a troubled fucking dude. Like I could never do anything in moderation. That was my whole problem, right? I've always done, it's all gas, no brakes. It's like either I'm doing all of this fucking cocaine or I'm doing none of it, and that's it, right? And or I'm drinking all the 3 fucking bottles of Jack or whatever it is, and doing all these drugs. But yeah, zero moderation, spiritually sick, and that it was just like it's literally a medicine, dude. Like it healed. It made me see clearer. Right, it's up to me what I do with that information and how I choose to use it. But like, it helped me find my purpose and want to fix things in my life and help other people that are struggling. Because what's the point in self-sabotaging and resentment? It's not going to get you anywhere. But you know what does is helping other people that you can share your story that you think is bad. Everyone has a story. Like everyone has a fucking story that's very real, and yours is not better than anybody else's. Mine's not better than it's everyone has a story. And if you can connect with one person by having an honest conversation, you can't put a price on it, man. And it's just like I find so much fulfillment in doing this job now, and it's just I like that I can help people and connect with people, and I love what you're doing with this podcast, man, because voices can be heard and you can change one life with a conversation. So
yeah, thank you. It's exactly what happened for me, and it's amazing, you know, our ideology, so to speak, so parallel each other and what we want to do and kind of what we experienced. It's so tough to explain to others who haven't journeyed with the medicine yet. You know, like I try to explain, and you know, I always say like my words dull a magic. As soon as I start speaking about it, it just dulls it. And like, how do you explain it to people?
How do I explain it?
Like say you're talking to another PJ and he's having trouble, and you're trying to, you know, just express your I don't know, your cathartic transformation, if you will, through with the medicine. Like, what do you tell them?
So everyone, like, I've talked to a lot of people that done DMT or ayahuasca, and it's like the same thing. It's like hard to explain. It's what it teaches you, right? Because like what I tell people is it helps. The medicine helps you kill a part of yourself that's killing yourself, and it shows you, and it brings it to light, right? So it brings all this negative shit to life, all this shit that like, it helps you face shit head on and stop like fucking running from it, dude, in my opinion. So like everyone has a different story, right? But like it, to me, like part of learning and growing is unlearning, right? So unlearning certain traits, unlearning self-destruction, unlearning this shit. And that's how I kind of explain it. It helps you see things that you need to see, like suppressed childhood trauma, for example. Like I never really thought I had it, right? I did. I was just running away from it. But that shit rewires your neural pathways, right? It really does. Like, it's studied. And that leads into like your relationship issues, like all these things, right? And in later life it does. And like I've had abandonment issues, I've had trust issues, all these things. And it was like, I was wondering why, like always long-term relationships, it was easy for me just to walk away, like nothing. I'm like, I'm blank, like a psycho. I'm like, I just turn away and walk away. It's so easy for me. And like, it helped me like bring all this stuff out. So I try to explain it in that way. Like it shows you what you need to see, and it gives you the tools to like find your purpose, right? In my opinion, like I can explain my story and how it happened, but like that's just me, right? And people are like, wow, that's crazy. But I'm like, and I don't tell people, like, what I say is like, you know, cocaine, all this stuff, you do it doesn't do anything for you, you abuse it. You can't abuse psychedelics like that. Like, it's good luck, buddy. Like, you can't, because you're always learning. Something so small is going to fucking tear your life apart and break you down to nothing, but you can build yourself up back up. Like, it does amazing things that need to be studied more. But yeah, I think it just helps you find yourself and your purpose at the end of the day, and it saved my life. I think it can save others. You know, don't know the proper protocols and stuff. Let me say that. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Not going to get to see a house sitting out on a Friday night by yourself.
Yeah.
I always say, you know, similar to you, it kind of tears down the walls that have been surrounding you, and lets you see things you never saw before, and lets you look at things you've always seen from a different perspective. And you know, it's important to know that if you guys are thinking about it, it's not the medicine that heals you. Everything is within. You know, the medicine is kind of a tool to let you see things differently, maybe to teach you things, you know, potentially to bring people to you in your journeys, like it did Xander with his mom. You know, you hear a lot of people that have put trauma to rest after speaking to that loved one that passed, and that loved one, you know, coming to them and telling them, I'm okay. You know, you did the best you could. I am fine. You know, I am in love, I am in light, whatever the case may be, but don't worry about me anymore. And, you know, it's amazing the way, like, years, man, even with my father, like, we didn't have a relationship, man, and what we had was contentious. It was horrible. But I remember right after it was over, thinking about memories between he and I, and none of them had that emotional charge anymore. It was just gone. They were just memories at that point. You know, nothing, no anger attached to them, no rage. They were just simple memories. And that is tremendous, that now you can go back and, as you're healing, think about things that have buried you before and then no longer affecting you sometimes at all. I mean, it's miraculous.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just at the end of the day, you need something to, like, open you up to that, man. And you can take life in two ways, and one's the right way, one's the fucking way that'll lead you to self-destruction. You can take it as everything happened to you, and you're gonna take it as like, oh, poor me. You're gonna play the victim mentality, right? You're gonna do this. You're gonna self-destruct. You're gonna like you're gonna spread bad fucking energy to the world because you know you're down on your own self. You had such a hard life. Or you can take all that shit and fucking make it something beautiful and help people and put your story out there. Take a negative and make it a positive and fucking change someone's life, dude. And that's what it did for me. So.
Beautifully said.
I respect it, man, and and you know, and also, like, another way to put it is it helps you close a chapter, right? Yeah. A chapter in a book, because new beginnings only come when you close a chapter, right? So, like, it helps you close that bad chapter and start your new beginning, and like make you progress towards the right fucking path, man. And like you said, it's a tool, and everything is within. It's always been within, dude. But it helps you, dude. It helps you at least get on the right track. And
I say I was reborn in a non-religious sense.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Literally.
Definitely reborn. For sure, man. Yeah.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, because I've experienced with tons of psychedelics and, like, true hallucinations, like with mushrooms and, you know, LSD and stuff, but nothing like fucking DMT, bro. Like, I was just gone. I was out of this world. Like, I was like, I had no control. It was just like, Jesus, take the wheel. It's like, but yeah, it's powerful, man. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, not at all. Yeah, and a lot of guys have, especially, you know, with us, like type A personalities, guys who used to being in control, they have a tough time relinquishing control for these journeys, but it's a must. If you're sitting there fighting that medicine or you don't, I remember I had no idea what was going to happen. I was nervous before before I took it the first time. I don't know if you felt the same, but
how was it for you? Yeah.
Mine was just incredible. And I remember going in there with the mindset, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm not fighting it. I'm just going to let anything happen. And mine felt like I was watching a big screen TV, and Mother Ayahuasca was in the left-hand corner, and I was kind of talking to her. And I remember I had my arms wide out, and I was crying. I'm like, I need help. I'm like, please help me get rid of this rage and anger. And I get emotional when I think about it.
Yeah,
and, you know, it was it's inexplicable, man. It was like everything I asked for, when I asked for it, was granted. It was like one after the other. Yeah. I just felt like these weights just shedding off me one after the other. And then I remember specifically looking at, when I journey, I sit in the chair, in the alpine chair, and I never close my eyes. A lot of people lay down, they'll put blindfolds on, or they'll close their eyes. I always have my eyes open. And I was watching the volunteers, that first one, and I was like, I want to be more like these people. Like, they're so loving and graceful and empathetic. I'm like, I want to be that man. I want to be more empathetic and loving and graceful. We always, or I did anyway, associate strength with like physical stature and, fighting ability. And, listen, there's a place for that in our respective careers. But no, when it comes down to actual strength, I don't think it's got anything to do with that. And I wanted to be strong like those people that I was looking at, like that 150-pound dude that was walking around there and all he wanted to do was help. I'm like, that's the man I want to be. And it's amazing, man. It granted me the greatest gift it gave me was the ability to become vulnerable and talk about things. And I remember I did a Facebook Live that following Tuesday. It's about 35 minutes, and I just kind of got on and was, I have a private account, so it was all friends and family, and I was just telling people what I'd been going through. No one knew. And, we isolate. We don't tell anyone what the fuck's going on in our head. And, I cried. And I went back in the house, and I told my wife what had happened. And first of all, I never would have been capable of crying prior. And number two, had I been, I would have been so embarrassed about it. But I went in and I told her, I'm like, man, I'm so proud. I cried, and I was, like, proud to show emotion. And I got 4 calls the next day, brother. 3 from former coworkers and friends who have been going through it. One had a gun in his mouth in a not too distant past. And that dude blew me away, like you said before about your buddy. Like, never, ever, ever would have thought him. And then a female family friend that had been going through it, but, helped all 4. And I remember going back and telling my wife that day, like, man, I am where I'm supposed to be. For whatever reason, the fucking universe chose me to do this. Yeah. And it's told me that. Like, I've journeyed several times in the universe. Like, I made you the way you look for a reason. I put you through everything you went through for a reason, so you can get in these rooms and talk to these men and women. You have instant credibility. They know that you're not bullshitting. You actually walk the walk. You're not just talking the talk. Yeah. And that goes a long way in our communities because guys smell that bullshit a mile away, and they're not going to listen to anyone that, I'm sorry, some clinician gets up there. Most of the time, guys are just going to shut down and not listen to a word he's got to say in terms of these things. But you get up there and have a for real, so to speak, get up there. You get up and start speaking, guys are going to listen to every fucking word you have to say.
Yeah, man. I think, so one of the other things, man, kind of came full circle, but when I was stationed in Japan, I learned about this art called kintsugi. Have you ever heard of it? Kintsugi?
Never heard of it.
So kintsugi is the art of, in the Japanese, when they break pottery, right? And like it's all cracked everywhere. They don't throw it away. They fix it. And they don't try to hide the cracks when they're mending it. They polish it up. They put some lacquer on everything, and they highlight the cracks with gold. So really? The bulb comes back to life, but all the cracks are shown, but it's in gold, right? So that's like, it's very powerful to me to think about it like that, because if you can highlight your cracks instead of highlighting it, like your traumas, your fucking insecurities, all the stuff you've been through, and just let it shine, it's beautiful, dude. And you become vulnerable like that. And like, I think it's just a beautiful art form. And yeah, it's called kintsugi. And yeah, man, I kind of try to live my life like that now. And I put that behind my brand when I was starting it. So yeah.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful metaphor for life too. And it's funny, bro. We go through these vicious cycles, and we all think we're alone. There's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of us going through this, yet we all think we're alone. It is mind-boggling to me. Yeah. Thus, we never open up and speak to others. Although, as we were talking about yesterday, like if you were to walk in a room today and speak to former, PGs, they're going to be a little more open as they're older now. But if you talk to younger guys even, and you tell them what you've been going through, and, any of you guys ever experienced this? Those hands are going to go up, man. Once you acknowledge it, it gives permission for the rest of those guys to do the same thing, and they're going to speak about it openly. Yeah. It's just like conversations like this that need to be said millions more times for guys to open up. And the other thing we always think is that everyone else has got to figure it out. We have this compare-itis, and we compare ourselves to everyone, and, you're like, man, you put yourself down because, man, look at this guy. He's doing so well. And I was talking to Taylor about that one night, and he's like, Mike, specifically talking about 2 Team 6 guys. They had flourishing businesses after their great careers, thought they had it all figured out, and then boom, each one imploded. And he's like, it's right down and out. I figured out that no one's got to figure it out. It's like Goggins says, man, we're all fucked up. And it's the truest thing in the world, man. I don't care how good you have it, how, well your business is doing, how strong you are, how rich you are. No one's got this shit figured out, man. Everyone's going through it on the daily. And, a lot of people put up that facade, and they're never going to let you in to see how it truly is. It's like social media. You're only seeing the beautiful parts. Yeah. You're not seeing the shit that they're going through the other 23 and a half hours a day. What do you think about, that?
The comparison.
Yeah, like the alone and, everyone thinking everyone else is figured out. Like, did you, kind of have similar feelings?
A little bit, yeah, and I feel like it's easy to fall into that ideology when you have like the most powerful tool in your hand every day. You got social media, you got AI. It's easy to compare yourself to other people's lives that you think have everything going on, right? But I also can look at my Instagram, right, and post what I post, and people get a glimpse into my life. But I have all this shit going on at the same time, right? What you see is not always what's going on, right? And you don't need to compare your life to anybody else, because that'll lead you nowhere but self-destruction. And your life has value, and you have a gift of life itself, and you're a gift. It's a gift to be here. And if you can just stop comparing yourself to other people, like it's a breath of fresh air. Because I used to do the same thing, right? I'm like, why do you have it all figured out? Like, you have all this, you have all this, you have all this money, these cars, you're rich, you have everything going on. But some richest people are the most unhappy people, man. And it's not monetary value that you can put on like helping other people and like chasing fulfillment and having a purpose. And like, that's true wealth, man. And like, once you stop caring what people think, you can breathe, bro. You can breathe, and it puts you on the right track to fucking just stop giving a fuck and like, and just fucking not caring what people think. So you can do what you're meant to do, and be here and shed positivity and spread good energy. And just like, I'm not comparing myself to anybody, and I don't care what people think about whatever I say, man, because I'm telling my story. Everyone has their story, and you have nothing to do with my story, right? But I want to like say it if I can and influence somebody. I'm not looking to please you. I'm looking to help the dude that might be struggling out there, right? I'm looking to help the dude who's like quiet about it and just in his room, like just fucking thinking everyone is just the world's fucked. I'm like down on my life, everything. Like, I'm looking to reach that guy, and I don't care what it takes me to get there. I'll be open and honest for the rest of my life, dude, instead of holding it in, because that shit is just a fucking weight on your chest, bro.
Yeah, it is. And that's true strength right there. Exactly what you said. And it's so noble. So once you decided that you journey with DMT and you decided that you want to help others, what do you do? What steps do you take? What do you, what's your mission?
So I had this idea to, I wanted to do something else than I was doing EP, right? And I broke my leg at the same time. Shortly after this, stepping out of
story?
No, this is what I was talking about with you earlier, but I never said it. But no, I stepped out of my buddy's truck and was going to the bathroom at a ski resort, and just fucking slipped and snapped my fibula. So there he goes. Not even before the fucking ski resort opened. They carried me up, and I was just fucking drinking at the bar the whole time, contemplating life, and talking to my buddy on the phone, and just like debating what the fuck I'm gonna do, because now my leg's broken. But I feel like that was a sign for me, right? So I started this company, and so it just, I had it in my head. I just needed the kicker to do it, and the kicker was me breaking my fucking leg. And I was just like, I'm gonna do it. And it kind of just, I just aim to reach anybody that's struggling with mental health. Fucking keeping it in, being vulnerable, talking, having one honest conversation can change a life, bro. And that's what I love about it. You're my third podcast, right? And I first was Liberty Risk, then it was Steve's, and now it's you. And I love everything about each podcast I've been on, because you guys are awesome. And it's just like having a conversation. It's not rocket science, dude. Like, you just have a conversation, be open, like, and people laugh at it and connect with the deep parts of it, and they connect with the funny ass parts of it, whatever it is. It's all life. Like, we can't take it that fucking seriously. No one gets out alive, right?
Exactly. No one gets out of his fucking game, man. Why do we think it's so serious?
What are we doing? Like, why? Like, that's why I look back. I'm like, why the fuck was I thinking like that? I don't think about that at all anymore. Awesome. I just try to help other people go through that. But I'm going to share like my parts of my life unapologetically, whether it's funny, whether it's deep, whether it's dark, because people connect with all that shit, man. And like you said, it was like, a balance of being deep and fucking funny. You can't, like, you have to not take it so seriously, man. And like, so that's my only aim with this company is, it's a mental health focused apparel company, right? But every shirt I make, everything I have has a message to it, right? And but yeah, my goal is to start a foundation eventually where I can help people struggling, have a place to go, community, and just down the road. But I want to attack that, and I love what I do now, man. Like, I'm so thankful and blessed to be doing this and to reach others, and I'm thankful for what you do too, man. So
thank you, brother. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, you can't put a price on waking up every day happy.
Yeah, no, you can't, man.
That's like, rich.
It's being grateful, bro. Like you
Yep.
wake up, you have a roof over your head, man. You're talking to friends, you have friends. I get to be on this podcast right now in this room with a space, like, good life, good people around you. Because I've seen fucking real poverty in the world, right? And it's directed me towards like my own perspective, which, like, when I was out in Africa, like I was in Djibouti flying over the base, which is a nice base, and you fly over and the locals are building trash, or they're building their houses out of the trash that you're throwing out, and they're happy. They're running around, dancing, kicking soccer balls, and you're just flying over in a fucking helicopter. It's like a fucking dystopian society, but it's like, that's perspective, man. Like, you can be happy with less, but actually be thankful for what you have and grateful, because we live in the best country in the world, right? We have everything afforded to us, and yeah, man, it's just gratitude and thankfulness, and like humility is like huge, man. So yeah, I'm just blessed to be here, man, and yeah, so I'm happy that you can't put a price, like you said, on waking up every day and like breathing and happy. So
I'll tell you a story that affected me when I was a fairly young cop. I was in Atlanta, and it was in ML King, Capitol Homes, which is a pretty shitty housing development in Atlanta. And I got a call. I don't know what the call was about, but it was an elderly black couple, and their apartment was immaculate. They were the sweetest couple in the world. I don't know how many times they offered me food, drink. We ended up conversing for quite a while. They were so like cute together. He was like holding her hand, and they were just full of love. There was pictures of family everywhere. They were smiling in every picture. And I remember thinking to myself, man, these people live in abject poverty, but they seem like two of the happiest people in the world. And now contrast that with a couple years later, I had gotten a rent-free apartment on the grounds of a beautiful estate in Buckhead, multi-million-dollar place. It was an elderly couple. They were fantastic. They became like my second family, but they traveled all the time. They got burglarized the year before, so they wanted a cop living on the property. So they had one particular get-together, and I met one of their friends. Total asshole, arrogant, just a jerk-off. And I was talking to this couple's name was, the last name was Lipson. So I'm talking to Mr. Lipson the next week, and this guy's name came up. I said, Mr. Lipson, not for nothing, but he was an asshole. He's like, yeah, Mike, he's definitely arrogant. And he told me that he just bought a 767 that he was getting retrofitted with bedrooms and stuff. That's the level of wealth that we're talking about here. Shit. And he said he's just not a happy man. He's always had depression issues and just going back and forth. And literally just struck me like a thunderbolt. That couple came back into my head immediately. And I thought, this guy's got all the money in the world, but he wakes up miserable every day. These people have nothing, and they wake up happy every day. Money doesn't mean shit. It gives you freedom and independence, but has got no, ability in making you happy or not.
Yeah.
It's an important message from
100%,
those who chase it.
Bro, I remember, so I'll tell you a story. I remember being, so when I re-enlisted, by the way, you re-enlist as a PJ, like, I don't know if it's the same nowadays, but you get a huge bonus check and a lot of special forces operations jobs. Mine was like $60,000. Like, I've never had that before in my life. I was like 23, 22, and I hit my bank account, and I came back to my apartment after deployment, and I was taking mushrooms, and I had this moment of thought. Like, this was before Dogecoin blew up, and I was gonna put I was gonna put 50,000 of it into Dogecoin before it blew up, and I was sitting there, I'm like tripping on mushrooms. I'm like, oh fuck, am I gonna do this? And I didn't ended up doing it, and then it blew up. Like, I would have been probably a fucking multi-millionaire, billionaire or something.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
And so I didn't do it, right? And I'm like, I always think about that, dude. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, I could have fucking, but at the same time, like, I probably wouldn't be here if I had that money going through that time. Like, I would be dead, dude. I would fucking sniff myself to death. I'd fucking, I'd be gone. I'd be gone within a couple years, dude. So like, that's like the ebb and flow of it is like, okay, that would have been fucking awesome, but if I had that money now, it'd be cool, but it's still like what makes me happy at the root of it is what I'm doing, and like now I know what I want to do with money if I ever get to that point of being rich in that aspect. But I'm rich already in my own heart, so
that's beautiful.
But yeah, I was like, I'm like, fuck, dude, I really want that money would have been fucking awesome. Yeah, it would have been cool, but I wouldn't be here, dude. Like, coming to understanding of who I am, I'm like, I would have been dead in a fucking short amount of time, dude. All the
universe intervening in your behalf, man. Self-preservation.
Yeah, dude. So
would have been like Scarface, man.
Yeah, But it's like, it's a lesson that I needed to learn about money too, right? It's like, it doesn't make you happy, bro. Like,
No.
what makes you happy, it's a Band-Aid like everything else could be, bro. But like,
Yeah.
and for sure it helps, man. Like, it
Yeah,
helps,
if you're happy,
right?
it's going to enhance it greatly, no
Enhance
doubt.
it greatly, right? But
Yeah.
it's not gonna help your root problems, dude. Like, it's sure you take all the stress off like everyday living and stuff, but like, and you have a nice shit, but how far does that get you? You know, you look
Yeah.
at some of the wealthiest people in the world, like you said, and they're not happy, dude. They're blank and like, yeah, the fame.
You got rich
the
people
fucking-
problems at that point.
yeah,
They live
rich
like
people
empty,
shit,
vapid
bro.
lives, man. There's no
It's
purpose
empty,
to them.
man. Always chasing the next fucking high or cool thing to do with all that fucking money and like, I mean, yeah. So,
Yeah.
that was my moment. But yeah, so
Nothing's
that was a
ever enough
lesson.
for them.
Everything's a lesson, bro.
Yep, exactly. That's the way you have to look at it. No matter how visceral that pain, if you're going through shitty parts of your life, no matter how bad, look for the lesson in it. I referenced the 2-year-old that was found floating in a pool. She suffered a hypoxic brain injury, and we didn't think she was going to survive. She ended up doing, well. She's still progressing. She's got her trials and tribulations, but it was tough, man. And I remember, dude, I felt guilty for saving her first, and then I felt guilty about having those feelings. And dude, I couldn't even process it. And after that healing journey, I ended up writing a 4-page letter to her family about everything that I had gone through, because they were so gracious and inviting me to the house and wanted me to see her all the time. And I used to make excuses not to go in because I knew it was going to upset me. And the one time I went in, man, I started to cry. And it was radio traffic. I just grabbed the mic, pretended it was for me. I copied the call, which was not even a call, and I split, never to be back again. And man, they would tear marks all over the paper. But I just had to explain. And I said, listen, I didn't know it at the time, but I'm like, the universe put me at your house on that day for a reason. I'm like, your daughter is saving and will continue to save people's lives through me. Like, we're doing it together. And he got in touch with me, and he's like, it was so powerful. Thank you. And I'm like, I truly believe that's why I was supposed to be at your house for that call, dude, and meet your daughter and do this work. So everything happens for a reason. Sometimes you may not figure it out. Other times it may this 5 years later I figured it out. But actually it was later than that. Look for the lesson that can be learned instead of making yourself the victim, because it does you no good, and you're gonna miss the fucking lesson.
It's the worst way to live, man. Being a victim.
Yeah.
Lessons and everything. Always look for it. If you don't see it immediately, make something out of it, man. Like, you can find something in everything, bro. Like, don't take it for just what it is. Like, I don't believe in coincidences anymore.
No.
Or anything. No, not at all, dude. Like, I'm like, everything's meant for a reason, dude. And we're all connected in some way. And like, shit's happening for a reason. You're meant to be there. So like, when you say that, it gives me a little bit like chills, because I believe that wholeheartedly, dude, that you're meant to be there to save that girl. And yeah. Who knows whose life she's gonna change, man. So yeah. Exactly. That's wild.
Exactly.
Man, so.
It's powerful. So, all right, brother. How can people get in touch with you if they want to? I know you're going to be on the speaking circuit soon, man, with this story. Powerful stuff.
Yeah, man. So I run all my stuff on Instagram _SDSC_official, and yeah, follow my account. All my links are on there and stuff, and my website is saintsbyday.construct.com. But yeah, I usually respond to DMs if you want to get in touch, and I try to at one point and every day at some time I try to go through all my DMs and like reply to people because I have people message me about their struggles, and I love to hear it, man. And I try to respond where I can and get to it eventually. But yeah, if you're struggling or just want to follow along on the journey, yeah, follow my page, man. I'd love to have you.
And on the website, what do you sell? Solely apparel, shirts, hats, sweatshirts?
Yeah, right now it's so I have my little story on my website, and then there's a shop section where you can get so I sell all apparel, hats, beanies, shirts, joggers, and all the shirts have like different messages on them. I'm in the process of making more. Apparel's tough, dude. You got to be creative and it's like make your own shit. But I love it. It's a challenge, man. But yeah, right now it's just all apparel and stuff. So, but
that's awesome, bro. You need to write a book.
Yeah,
your life would be book worthy, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Actually, after this, I'm going to drive around and hand out like homeless care packages. So just talk to some. I'm trying to find a homeless vet. So I got some pointers. So I'm gonna go drive around and do that. So
unbelievable.
Yeah, man.
Guys doing God's work, man. Holy shit.
I'm trying, man. Trying to
get it ended on that. Now I feel worthless, man. I'm gonna have to go do something right now.
I was like, I just got the idea one day. I'm like, it's fucking raining. It's cold. I want to fucking go out and hand things out because everyone has a story, bro. And like
absolutely
a lot of homeless people, you'd be surprised how they got there, like their journey to get there, right? So I like having deeper conversations, man. So I appreciate you having me on, and this was fucking awesome, bro.
Yeah, I loved having you on, bro. Definitely, I would love to have you on in the future as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, anything you ever do, shoot it to me, and I'll promote the hell out of it best I can.
Same for you, bro.
Book, you definitely, thank you. Book, you definitely need to come out. If you ever do, get with me, because I just finished my manuscript. I'm writing one, and I have a great girl, that I'm working with. She's worked with quite a few of like us in this industry, so to speak, and
Nice, bro.
yeah, she'd be fantastic to help you
awesome,
as well. But your story
bro.
is, it's asking for a book to be written about it. It's unbelievable.
Sick. I appreciate that, man. Yeah,
Absolutely.
The amount of people have told me that, dude. I'm like, maybe I should. I don't know.
Hell yeah, bro. It'd be cathartic too. It was for me, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I believe that, man. So, but yeah, I can't wait to read yours, man.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, bro.
All right, guys. If you like what you saw, please hit the like and subscribe button. And how can you not like what you just heard here with Xander's interview? So, Xander, again, it was fantastic having you on. It was truly my honor and pleasure. And hopefully we'll do something together in the future, brother.
Absolutely, man.
All right, guys. Take care.
Order, shot fire, officer down, shot fire, officer down. Got a city officer down, shot fire.
223, be advised, we have a visual on enemy paratroopers in grid Papa uniforms.
Welcome to the Resilient Warrior Nation, a podcast dedicated to inspiring hope and healing for first responders, military veterans, and anyone facing PTSD and trauma